All right, this is part 7 of the Math 110 final exam review. We did 25 through 29 in part 6. So now we're starting with number 30, which says to solve the equation, the quantity x plus 3 to the 2/3 power plus 2 times the quantity x plus 3 to the 1/3 power minus 8 equals 0. All right, what you want to notice about this problem, got it written down here now, is that you've got kind of 3 pieces to it, kind of like terms, although they involve quantities. The third piece is just a constant, and it's equal to 0. Also, if you look at the powers here, this power is twice this power, which means that this term right here, this quantity to the 2/3 power, is this quantity squared. It's the same quantity. It's just this is to the 1/3 power and this is to the 2/3 power. So this is what we call in quadratic form. It's like a quadratic, and what we can do is called u substitution, where we let u equal the middle term, or the middle thing that has a number in front of it and some power. Actually, it doesn't even always have a power, but that is going to become u. So off to the side here, in fact, I'm going to write u is equal to x plus 3 to the 1/3 power. Because if you square that, the 1/3 power squared, power to a power you multiply, you get x plus 3 to the 2/3. Right? That's the idea of how the other term had twice the power. So it's u squared. So we're going to replace that with u squared, that with u, and then write down the rest of the equation the way it was. So this is going to be u squared plus 2u minus 8 equals 0. All right, let me rewrite that so it's not all spaced out like that. U squared plus 2u minus 8 equals 0. All right, we just have this quadratic equation that's in u that we got from substituting u for that middle quantity to the 1/3 power. Then, hopefully, it will factor. If it doesn't factor, of course, you need the quadratic formula, but these usually factor because they're complicated enough just having the substitution. So to get u squared, you need u and u. To get a negative 8, you need the signs to be different because their product has to be negative, so they have to be a plus and a minus. And then we've got pairs 2 and 4 or 1 and 8 that will give you 8. We want to find the ones whose difference, because we have different signs, whose difference is 2, so that'd be the 4 and the 2. And we also want it to come out to be a positive 2 when we FOIL, so we want the bigger number to be positive. All right, so just double check that you've got the factors right. U squared plus 4u minus 2u, especially the inside and outside, need to give you the middle term with the correct sign. And then, of course, the last, hopefully you put them down so that they would give you the constant with the correct sign. All right, so then you set each factor equal to 0 using the property of 0 that says when you have a product equals 0, at least one of those factors has to be 0. And solving for u here, subtract 4 from both sides, you get u equal to negative 4. Solving for u here, you get add 2 to both sides, do the opposite, you get u equals 2. All right, so that's what u is equal to, but we still need to find out what x is equal to. So we go back over here to where we did the substitution. I wrote down u squared, but we're really interested in u. U is equal to x plus 3 to the 1/3 power. So here's where you have to remember that the 1/3 power is the cube root. In fact, you might also remember that the 2/3 power is cube root squared. All right, so we've substituted u for the cube root of x plus 3. So we need to substitute back. So where u is equal to negative 4, we need to write the cube root of x plus 3 is equal to 4, negative 4. And right here, we need to write the cube root of x plus 3 is equal to 2. because that's what u is equal to. So now we need to solve each of these equations, and these are radical equations where you want to undo the radical. To undo a cube root, you cube both sides. Then you just get the x plus 3 that's in the radical. And negative 4 times negative 4 times negative 4 is negative 64. So then subtracting 3 from both sides, you get x equal to negative 67. Here's one answer, and then over here, cube both sides. To get the x plus 3 is equal to 2 times 2 times 2, or 8. And subtract 3 from both sides, and x is equal to 5. All right, next equation, next problem is similar but a little bit easier. Number 31, solve 3x to the negative 2 power plus 7x to the negative 1 power plus 2 equals 0. All right, so I wrote this down almost. I made a little mistake here, 3x to the negative 2 power. All right, yeah, always make sure that you write it down correctly. So this one is more obviously like a quadratic, right? You've got x to the negative 2 instead of x squared, and x to the negative 1 instead of just x. But we'll do the same thing. We'll replace x to the negative 2 with u squared, and x to the negative 1 with u to the first. And then we have just a regular quadratic equation in the variable u. Over here, let me write down what we substituted. We substituted u for the middle guy, right? The x to the negative 1 is what u is equal to. U squared is x to the negative 2. So u is x to the negative 1 power. Also, you want to remember what that means. Negative 1 power for a number means reciprocal. In this case, 1 over x. But back over here, again, we want to solve this quadratic. So let's see if this factors. Here you've got a leading coefficient of 3. So to get 3u squared, you need 3u and u. The signs are all positive, so that's nice. And then to get 2, it's got to be a 2 and a 1. So either the 2 here goes here and the 1 goes here, or the 2 goes here and the 1 goes here. I think the 2 is going to have to go over here so that when you FOIL, you get a 6u. And the 1 is going to go here so that on the inside you get 1u, which gives you 7u. All right, so you set each factor equal to 0. 3u is equal to negative 1. U is equal to negative 1/3. And over here, u is equal to negative 2. When you set u plus 2 equal to 0, you just get the opposite. So that's what u is equal to. Now we need to see what x is. So we've got u equal to 1 over x. That's what we substituted. So substitute back. 1 over x is equal to negative 1/3. 1 over x is equal to negative 2. All right, then to get x, you can cross multiply or you can just reciprocate both sides. That's legal. 1 over x equals negative 1/3 means x over 1 is negative 3 over 1. So in other words, x is negative 3. Just flip both sides. If you do that over here, this right now is 2 over 1, negative 2 over 1. So x is going to be negative 1/2. Just take the reciprocal of both sides, and that gives you x.